Alright, hello Guild Wars 2 gamers, Muckluck here. Today is Tuesday, December 9th. We've got some Guild Wars 2 news. We have got a patch. This is the expected balance patch that is following the release of Visions of Eternity, which means all of the broken and busted things that were added in Visions of Eternity, like with the new Elite specs, are completely fixed and everything is perfectly balanced. We hope. All right, first paragraph. Your add-ons might break. Mine didn't. I've still got RTPS, so you might be fine. Wintersday. Come and join us in celebrating Wintersday. Toymaker Tix has made his annual visit to Divinity's Reach to spread seasonal cheer and festivity. Bring the magic of Wintersday to the distant north in the secret lair of the Snowmen Strike mission. Complete daily achievements to earn fanciful holiday weapons. Save Wintersday for the orphans spread around Divinity's Reach by giving them wrapped gifts. Test your snow throwing skills against other players in Snowball Mayhem. Experience the joy of jumping in Winter Wonderland. Defend against waves of toys in the Toypocalypse. And help keep Tix's airship, the Infinarium, in order. You will also see Wintersday gifts appearing all over Tyria. So, really quickly here, if you are new to the game, you go to Divinity's Reach, that's the human city. Over here on the western side, Crown Pavilion, there's a waypoint there, and it looks very different right now. Lots of peppermints and snow, and a giant freaking blimp. That's the Infinarium up there. Big old blimp. Asuras are here to bring you holiday cheer. You could talk to different people around here. Most of the peppermint icons are related to the holiday. They've got merchant stuff that you can buy. You can go into different missions and just try all the different stuff. You could farm the orphans. Okay, here we go. The annual Wintersday Traditions meta achievement has been updated with a new armor reward, the Winter Snow Goggles. Last year's meta achievement reward, the Winter Mittens, can now be purchased from festival reward vendors. Winter Snow Goggles, said, is from a new meta achievement. So we are going to go down here and we're going to go to festivals. And there it is right there. And we're going to right click and hit preview. And let's see, where's medium? Because I'm on my Ranger right now. And that's what they look like on Asura. There you go. It's like my snowboarding goggles, actually. Okay, so that's them. If you want those, they're in the game as of now. The new Sugar Drift weapon set is now available, reprised from the classic Snowdrift weapon set of Wintersday past. You'll receive your choice of a weapon by progressing the annual Wintersday Traditions meta achievement or the weekly Wintersday Festivities achievement. Muck snowboards. Been a long time since I have it, yeah. It doesn't require a lot of muscle, and I am a very skinny guy. It's just about balance. Let's see, Sugar Drift weapon set. All right, so let's go into the wardrobe here. And weapons and sugar. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna use this menu here to look at these. All right, oh, so these are like you draw the weapon. Hold on a sec. So if you stow it, it's just the weapon. When you draw it though, it like crystallizes and gets the sugar on it. So, hammer, longbow, shortbow, axe. Oh, the blade actually gets larger. Dagger, greatsword, mace, the diabetes weapon set, yeah. Pistol, rifle, scepter, staff, focus, torch, a torch with snow on it. Oh, it's like a lantern. That's cool. Let's see, shield, warhorn, and spear. Okay, so that's the new weapon set if you want it. The plush weapon set is now available from the weekly Wintersday vendors. Oh my god. Plush weapon? Is that new or did that exist before? Okay, so that's got like a plush snake. Staff has a frog. Focus is you holding My Bear Tibbers. Torch has another snake. Warhorn has... That's cute. Warhorn has a cat hanging off of it. Shield has a sky scale. Spear has a shark or a dolphin or something on it. Rifle has a shark. And pistol is chunky bird. Mace has a bunch of quaggons. Greatsword has the sky scale again. Dagger has a cat hanging on it. Axe has, I think that's a fox. Shortbow has That's a raptor. That's the plush raptor skin. Longbow, Sneck, and a turtle, for some reason. And hammer, you beat people with a quaggan. And sword, possibly a screaming quaggan. I'm not sure on that one. Alright, so that's the plush weapon set. And let's see. The plush Jorm's backpack is now available from Wintersday vendors. Okay, hold on. Plush Jorm's backpack. Alright, hold on a sec. Where are you at? Jorm's. There you go. Chonky Jormag. There you go. Plush Jormag right there. So you can get that from one of the merchants. A new mini plush tiger is available from Wintersday vendors. Okay, so I'm guessing that's a miniature. So build miniatures and search plush tiger. Okay, so it's the plush Warclaw skin just as a miniature. Okay. And it has a pet, it has like a little mouse hanging off of it. All right. Deft Lahar is visiting Divinity's Reach for the festival and offers a variety of homestead-tailored recipes for your favorite Winter's Day decorations. I believe I'm standing right next to that guy. Yeah, he's right there. So here's Divinity's Reach. You come down from the waypoint, and he's right there if you want to talk to him. Okay. New winter-themed guild decorations have been added. A gift levitator, light blue Winter's Day gift, gift barrel, and Jorm's plush. The Wizard's Vault has been updated with special objectives for participating in Winter's Day activities. So for new players, if you're level 80, you go up here to the Wizard's Vault and go to special. There will be some special things here that you can do that give you a ton of points, which, you know, who doesn't love points? That's good stuff. I need to clean that out. Increase the minimum number of snowflakes received when opening a Jolly Winter's Day gift. Snowflakes are basically the currency for the holiday stuff. You can spend the snowflakes to get different Christmas things. Fixed an issue that could reduce the daily limit of other gift purchases when purchasing personalized Winter's Day gift from the Guild Trader. Increase the healing effect for players using the Central Toy Machine in Toypocalypse. That's one of the events. Increase Tox's health pool during the final Toypocalypse battle. A number of festival-related issues have been fixed to ensure a happy holiday for all heroes. To give festival goers ample time to enjoy the holiday, Winter's Day will be active until January 6th at noon Pacific time. So you got just about a month for that. General. Fixed party UI issues that caused elements to visually overlap and obscure each other. Fixed an issue that caused animation stuttering for several UI elements. While in a squad, the commander's icon will now appear on the party menu button. While in a squad, the subgroup number will be displayed when the view as grid option is turned off. So just a bunch of UI stuff related to squads. Open world general changes. Fixed an issue that prevented ethereal key charges from being applied when the lingering magic mastery tier was unlocked. All right, so ethereal key charges are related to the mirror chests that are over in Castora. So if you're not in Visions of Eternity, this wouldn't make any sense to you. If you are in Visions of Eternity, this is a fix for that. Added missing merchants and anvils to Castora. Really quick things, we've got a lot of new players here. Long ago, the game had repairs. You know, like equipment would get damaged, you'd have to repair it and stuff like that. And you could go to certain merchants or anvils to do that. They did away with that. However, now, if you interact with a repair anvil, I'm not near one right now, you'll get a buff called Reinforced Armor, which increases your health and defense until it wears off. So that is what they're for. So if you are a new player and you ever see an anvil or see the Reinforced Armor option on merchants, use it. You get a big buff for a long time. I believe on new players it lasts like 12 hours. The missing decorations list window can now be moved. Clarified account and character limited vendor purchase warnings. The Cat's Torah instance can now be accessed by multiple players in a party. Items. Updated item icons for the Emergent Metamorphosis collection. Updated the reward name for completing the Castora Fisher collection, and updated the Relic of Mercy to only affect players in World v World. Relic of Mercy increases the speed that you revive people. I am guessing that this was working on NPCs, like keep lords and stuff like that. That is a guess, but otherwise I don't know why they would do that. I haven't World v Worlded recently. Personal story. Fixed an issue in the Unscheduled Departures Radasum Port Authority story chapter that causes the lab console to be usable by Asura, Engineer, or Iron Legion players to remain on and interactable after the objective was complete if it was not chosen as the distraction method. Yeah, you could revive a lord. Yeah, okay, that would be it. He's addressing new players, not saying it was 12 hours for new players. No, I was saying, I think if you don't have the infinite repair buff, that it lasts like 12 hours when you interact with an anvil or something like that. But I could be wrong. Recently, when we did the Craftlock Challenge, I was using anvils for the first time in years. Profession skills. We've seen a lot of positive feedback about the new Elite specs after the changes we made between the beta event and the expansion launch. I agree with that. Like, as a whole, if I'm just looking at them overall, the 9 classes were improved since the beta. But it's clear that many of them are more powerful than intended. I agree with that as well. This update is focused on reducing the effectiveness of the overperforming specializations while we work on the next regular balance update for early next year. Infinite buff? Yeah, okay, there's an item you can get if you're like a really veteran player called Endless Reinforcing Canister. If you have this lasts forever. It just refreshes itself constantly. Okay. Ground targeted skills can no longer be cast using snap ground target to current target option if their targets are off screen or behind an obstacle that hides them from the camera. Oh, my arrow cart build. I have a video on a build for called arrow cart, and in the video, I am like running up to walls in World v World, and I'm using barrage and snap target to kill trebuchets and catapults on the other side of walls. But that video is years old. Like, that's been in the game a long time. Honestly, I'm not bothered if they take that out. It was kind of cheesy. But yeah, if you had something that targeted, that did not require line of sight, like barrage, and you had snap to target, you could hit enemies on the other side of walls. But yeah, that was in the game for years. Hold on, how long ago did I release that video? I'm gonna check. Arrow cart. Come on, where is it? Here we go. December 5th, 2020. 5 years. It's been 5 years. So I don't think I'm the one who got it nerfed. I think someone else did something else that crossed the line recently. But it's funny that I put it in a video 5 years ago and it lasted that long. Okay. What else we got? Relic of Castora. Reduce the healing increase from 25% to 20% in PvP and World v World. I believe this relic would increase the healing output you do if targets are low on health, which was pretty nice. Let me go here. Hang on. Castora. Yeah, healing to other allies is increased when they are below 50% health. So they're nerfing that in certain game modes. Okay. Elementalist. Evoker has been deleted. Engineer. No, I'm just kidding. Evoker. Fiery Might no longer increases burning damage. Familiar's Prowess. Reduce condition damage bonus from 7 to 5% in PvE. Reduce strike damage from 7 to 5% in PvE. Familiar's Focus. Reduce Conduit damage bonus from 20 to 15% in PvE. Reduce the strike damage bonus from 20 to 15% in PvE. Ignite. Consecutive strikes from this skill now increase burning duration instead of the number of stacks. Conflagration. Reduce the burning duration from 6 seconds to 4.5 in PvE. Sunspot. This trait now has a 5-second cooldown when specialized in fire attunement. Flame Expulsion. This trait now has a 5-second cooldown when in fire attunement. Specialized Elements. Adjusted the basic skill recharge reduction from 2 seconds to 10% of the skill's recharge time. Adjusted the empowered skill recharge reduction from 6 seconds to 20% of the skill's recharge time. Electric Enchantment. Reduce the power coefficient from 0.55 to 0.4 in PvE. Zap. Reduce power coefficient from 0.3 to 0.26 in PvE. Reduce the bonus critical damage against marked enemies from 4% to 3 in PvE. Lightning Blitz. Reduce the power coefficient from 0.152 to 0.122 in PvE. Familiar's Blessing. In PvP and World v World, Fire now grants Might instead of Quickness, and Air now grants Fury instead of Quickness. So no mention of the autocast thing for the Familiars. I know that anyone who plays Evoker is looking forward to that for the sake of Carpal Tunnel. Hopefully that comes out as soon as possible. All right, so that's it for Evoker. Engineer Amalgam. Mercurial Tendencies cooldown reduction increased from 2 seconds to 2.5 in PvE. Carbolic Composition reduced poison duration from 6 to 3 seconds in PvE. Willing Host reduced the strike damage increase from 15% to 5% and removed condition damage increase in PvE. Symbiotic Synergy increased morph damage increase from 10 to 33% in PvE. New Genes increased the might stacks from 3 to 4, might duration from 6 seconds to 12 in PvE. Increased Offensive Protocol Obliterate might duration from 6 seconds to 12 in PvE. Okay, so easier might generation. Double Helix increased attribute bonus from 50% to 100% in PvE. Wow. Offensive Protocol Shred reduced power coefficient per hit from... It's a hair. They reduced it by a hair. Offensive Protocol Obliterate reduced the power coefficient by a hair in PvE. Pierce reduced power coefficient by a hair in PvE. Offensive Protocol Demolish reduced the spin power coefficient by a hair and the smash power coefficient by a hair in PvE. Defensive Protocol Thorns reduced initial power coefficient from 1.5 to 1.0 and Thorns power coefficient from 1.0 to 0.5 in PvE. Gaseous State fixed an issue that prevented the skill from properly removing movement impairing conditions when applied by different sources. That's a weird one. So Gaseous State is supposed to break you out of movement impairments, like you turn into mist for a second, and then you can move away and solidify. But I guess there was a bug where if two different people immobilized you, it would screw it up. Interesting. 10 to 30% is not a hair. 1.0 to 0.9 for the... Like, this isn't the base power. This is the coefficient. That's just going to be, like, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, like all of these are just like that's a little, that's a little, that's a little. No. We'll see how that turns out, but that is, I think the most interesting thing for me here is the double helix thing. I'm very curious to see, what that's going to change. Guardian, Luminary. Fixed an issue that caused Luminary weapons to use the incorrect weapon strength in PvE and World v World. Oh, hold on a sec. I need to respond to a message real quick. Okay. Fixed an issue that caused Luminary weapons to use the incorrect weapon strength in PvE and World v World. This results in a damage increase of about 64% to all forged skills in these modes. What? 64%? Wow. Okay. Wow. Radiant Justice. A warning area is now displayed to enemies only. Increase the explosion power coefficient from 0.91 to 1.05 in PvP and World v World. Dazzling Hammer. Reduce the power coefficient from 2.5 to 1.5 in PvE. Reduce the power coefficient from 0.91 to 0.75 in PvP modes. Shining Spin. Reduce the power coefficient from 2.25 to 1.55 in PvE. Reduce power coefficient from 1.25 to 1.05 in PvP World v World. Gleaming Blade, reduce power coefficient from 2.0 to 1.8 in PvE. Radiant Armaments, reduced Radiant Hammer strike damage from 10% to 7% in PvE. Sovereign of Light, reduced the power coefficient from 2.2 to 1.7 in PvE. Resolute Stance, reduced initial ally healing. Oh my god, oh, that's nasty. It's still going to be decent, though. So Resolute Stance was the heal skill, and it also healed your allies for a huge amount. And I got to try that when I was playing Heal Luminary. But they're gutting that heal from 6k to 3. Illuminating Inspiration, reduce recharge reduction from 4 to 3 seconds in World v World PvP. Okay. I would have to test this. So, like, this reads that this is a massive buff and damage, and this reads that they're nerfing damage in other ways. So, the end result, I have no idea. I don't know if this is a net gain and net loss, or if it's going to balance out. I do not know what's going on here with Luminary. So, someone else will have to test it, like the wonderful people at Snowcrows, and we will see what happens. Mesmer Troubadour. Tale of the Second Scion. Increased cooldown from 15 to 20 seconds in PvP World v World. Harmonious Harp, increased cooldown from 30 to 35 seconds in PvP and World v World. Okay. Ritualist. Okay, hold on. Before I even read this, I want to say that Ritualist really needed a nerf. It is also my most played class since the expansion dropped, okay? Which means I am partial to Ritualist. It was good. It is good. And it's extremely powerful. And even like, there was some off-meta builds, like Teapot found one in Zealot's gear, I believe, that was able to do 17k DPS while healing the party. Why would you ever bring a 1k DPS Paragon that's healing the party when you could bring another DPS that's healing the party? Like, it would have put every other support out of business. So, Rit, as much as I love it, and it's my most played class in Visions of Eternity, it needs nerfs. So, let's see what they did, and let's see if it's enough. Like, for the good of the game. All right, Spirit Strength. Fixed an issue that prevented this trait from affecting spirit skills other than their auto attacks. Essence Blast. Reduced power coefficient from 1.05 to 0.75 PvE. Splinter Weapon. Reduced power coefficient from, from 1.0 to 0.5. Half in PvE. Reduced power coefficient from 0.5 to 0.35 in World v World. Again, this might be enough. We'll see. It was Splinter Weapon was insane. Innervate Anguish, reduced power coefficient from 1.8 to 1.3 in PvE. Explosive Growth, this trait no longer grants a bonus to outgoing strike damage. Lingering Spirits, reduced strike damage bonus from 15% to 7%. Okay. Empowering Spirits now grants Vigor instead of Quickness in PvP and World v World. So this is, once again, they're trying to lessen quickness and alacrity in PvP and World v World. We've seen this many times before. Anguish, reduce the power coefficient from 0.08 to 0.066 in PvP and World v World. Wanderlust, reduce power coefficient from 0.09 to 0.075 in PvP and World v World. Rich Shroud, increased life forced drain rate from 3% to 5% in World v World only. Huh. Been a long time since I've seen him tackle the life force drain rates of any type of Necro. Okay. World v World only, though. All right. Again, overall, I think this is good. As always, though, my hope is simply, did they do enough? Did they go too far? Right? That's my concern. So I hope they didn't go too far. I don't want Rit to be gutted. It just needs to be brought down to everybody else, because holy freaking crap. All right, Ranger, Gale Shot. Bird of Prey, reduced damage increase from 10% to 5% in PvE. Hawkeye, reduce the power coefficient per hit from 1.6 to 1.36 in PvE. Bluster, reduce power coefficient per hit from 0.8 to 0.64 in PvE. Fleeting Zephyr, reduce power coefficient from 1.5 to 0.8 in PvE. Quarry's Peril, reduce the power coefficient from 2... wait, what? Huh? Hold on. Quarry's Peril, it says reduced the power coefficient from 2.0 to 2.5 in PvE. All right, so there's two possibilities here. Either A, that's supposed to say increased, or B, that's supposed to say 1.5. So I'm not sure which. But overall here, TLDR in PvE, Gale Shot damage should be a bit lower. That's the main thing here. So we'll see. Increase the decrease. That's right. We've increased the decretion. So that's the main thing there. Revenant, Conduit. I've not tried Conduit since the beta. So just reading what it says. Release Potential Assassin. Increase power coefficient from 1.1 to 1.3 in PvE. Release Potential Mesmer. Reduced the torment duration from 8 seconds to 6 in PvE. Reduce the torment count from 5 to 4 in PvE. Decrease torment duration increase per affinity from 15% to 10% in all modes. Hex Eater Vortex. Reduce the torment duration from 8 seconds to 5 in PvE. Twin Moon Sweep. Increase power coefficient from 2 to 2.5 in PvE and reduce the energy cost from 30 to 25. Bolstered Bonds, reduce the specific attribute increase from 150 to 75, and the all attribute increase from 75 to 50 in World v World and PvP. Form of the Mesmer. Pain Absorption, increase the energy cost from 10 to 20 in World v World and PvP. Banish Enchantment, increase the energy cost from 10 to 15 in World v World, and from 5 to 15. They're tripling the cost in PvP. Call to Anguish, increase the energy cost from 10 to 20. They're doubling it in World v World and PvP. Form of the Warrior, increase the internal cooldown from 0.25 seconds to 0.5 seconds in World v World and PvP. Form of the Dervish, increase the power coefficient from 0.3 to 0.525 in World v World and PvP. Mistfire, this trait now burns enemies instead of dazing them when Cosmic Wisdom is activated. Reduce the burning duration from 5 seconds to 4 in World v World and PvP. Enhanced Embodiment, increase the recharge reduction from 20 to 30% in World v World and PvP. And lastly, Release Potential Dervish, increase casting time by 0.3 seconds. Have a good day, all. I'm heading to bed. See ya, Abiyamara. Okay. Thief Antiquary. Okay, Antiquary is another class that I have not yet played since the beta. However, when you test it in a vacuum, now I know benchmarks are not the end-all be-all, but they are a bit of information, and I do think they're worth taking into account. Antiquary is 5 of the top 6 slots right now for benchmarks, okay? And it drops off fast. Number 8 is 53k, number 1 is 66, okay? It's a 10k increase. Antiquary is insane. Now, I have not played it since the beta. I don't have any, like, really crazy details on it, but I do know that its parsing, at the very least, in a pure PvE vacuum, is wild right now. So, hang on, let me close all these tabs here. Let me see what they did. Forged Surfer Dash. Increased the radius of the bombs from 80 to 120. Fixed an issue that caused the burning count and duration of the bombs dropped by this skill's beneficial effect to differ from those dropped when this skill is activated. Funny enough, the Forged Surfer Dash, when you do it, you like fly forward on a surfboard and you leave bombs behind you. And it's as stupid as it sounds. And the other day, I raided Fandral when I finished a stream, and he was fighting in Harvest Temple. And he turned to look, and he's like, "Oh, Muck, thanks for the raid." And he Forged Surfer Dashed right off the cliff. Like, he went right through the dragon and just yeeted himself into the sunset. And they were like, "Stop dying." Apparently, he'd been dying because of Forged Surfer Dash a lot. And I'm calling him out on it. Because I got there, and his group was like, "Fandral, stop dying. Stop using the surf." All right, Mistburn Mortar. Reduce the burning duration caused by the trait-enhanced version of this skill from 3 seconds to 2.5 in all game modes. Reduce the burning duration from the skill's beneficial effect from 6 seconds to 3 in PvE only. Stone Summit Cannon. Reduce the burning duration on regular strikes from 5 seconds to 4 in PvE. Reduce the burning duration on backfire strikes from 8 seconds to 6 in PvE. Combat High. Reduce the outgoing strike damage and condition damage bonus from 3% per stack to 2% per stack in PvE only. And Possessive Hoarder. Defensive artifacts now grant alacrity instead of regeneration in PvE only. That's interesting. Like all of this is just numbers. This is interesting. Because y'all know I'm very support-minded. I'm wondering how that's going to affect that. Okay. All right. Like I said, I haven't played Antiquary since the beta, so I'll leave that to the experts. Curious to see if this is going to nerf it down. I hope it does. Warrior. Valiant Leap. Reduce the might duration from 8 seconds to 6 in World v World. Reduce the fury duration from 4 seconds to 3 in World v World. Line Breaker. That's Staff 3, I believe, on Warrior. Reduced Aegis duration from 4 seconds to 3 in World v World. Reduced protection duration from 4 seconds to 3 in World v World. That's really weird. Okay, so they're taking 1 second off of the boons from Linebreaker. All right. Banner of Tactics. Increased cooldown from 30 seconds to 45 in World v World. Okie dokie. Paragon. So, real quick here. I did not test Paragon DPS builds. I have tested Paragon heal builds. They feel amazing to play. Paragon as a support is I don't do any damage, but I'm an indestructible little plate armored gremlin, and I'm going to scream at you guys, and you're going to love it. And it is so very good at healing and survivability if you're playing the support version. The sparky stuff above Muck's head. It's my green screen is being a little weird right now. Paragon. On your knees! Increase the power coefficient from 0.8 to 1.5 in PvE only. Find their weakness! Increase the power coefficient from 1.0 to 2.0, doubling it in PvE. Never surrender! Increase the recharge time from 20 seconds to 25 in World v World. Brace yourselves! Reduce the protection duration from 3 seconds to 2 in World v World. Another odd one. Brisk pacing. The damage and condition damage increase has been increased from what was 7.5, 15, 25 to 10, 20, 30 in PvE only. Chant of Action. Reduce the might stacks on initial activation from 3 to 2 in World v World. Reduce the fury duration on initial activation and the second and third levels of Refrain from 3 seconds to 2 in World v World only. Chant of Freedom. Decrease the resolution duration granted by the second and third levels of Refrain from 3 seconds to 2 in World v World. Decrease the protection duration granted by the third level of Refrain from 3 seconds to 2 in World v World only. Inspiring Implements. This trait now grants adrenaline as well as motivation when swapping weapons and grants additional adrenaline when no refrains are active. Okay, I'm going to refresh the page and see if they added anything at the bottom. No, they have not. One thing that's in my head right now that I'm wondering if any of you can answer is one of the biggest bugs I knew about from Luminary was the alacrity radius. It was not what it said it was. Like, it said it was 600, but it was like 300. Like, you had to get in for a real snug hug if you wanted that alacrity. Does anybody know if they fixed that? Because I don't see a note on that. Luminary alac range has not been fixed. It's still only 300. No, it hasn't been fixed. That is a shame. So, if you are playing alac DPS Luminary or heal alac Luminary, please, no, get in close right now. It still works. The build still works, but the range is not as large as it says it is. Hopefully they get that fixed. But, you know, group hug. Group hug for your buffs. Until they get that fixed. You gotta, hold on a sec. Do I still have the radius thing installed? Give me a second here. I'll give you guys a visual aid. Our distance ring. Okay, let's do this. All right. So it says it's 600 radius. That's that. That's pretty healthy. Okay. Currently, it's that. Which, funny enough, is standard druid. But that is the difference. So if you are playing Luminary, just remember, like, this visual aid here, you need to get in about that close. It's not what it says right now. Okay. 300 is considerable. 300 is okay, but it's not great. So just it's worth knowing. I just want my fellow players to know here. Okay, that is it for the current patch notes. As mentioned, the holiday has started. I have a guide for that. It's pinned at the top of the Mukluk Lab website right now. So if you need it, if you go to mukluklabs.com, we got it pinned up here for the moment if you need anything. A couple of other things is Blackline Chest. There is a new thing in Blackline Chest right here called Steam-Powered Legwear Package. And if you wear it, it gives you a prosthetic, sort of. From the thigh to the ankle, you have a prosthetic steampunk leg, which is kind of cool. You still have a fleshy foot, which is really weird. And it has, it's steam powered, so there's exhaust pipes. So, yeah, you can be a little mechanome. With your boots, the bottom would be covered, but that is a new thing in the game. That's kind of neat. Not the first prosthetic leg thing. There's a pirate peg leg, I believe, in the game as well. And there is a new thing on the Gemstore worth covering briefly, which is Gingerbread Homestead Package. So there's a little video here. So if anyone's new to homesteads, if you purchase this, you're getting, like, they're building blocks, right? It's like Legos. So, like, there's a wall. You're getting as many of those walls as you want. So these are basically building blocks to use in your homestead if you are designing your own Christmas-themed homestead. And also a reminder that with the new homestead system with, like, Notepad, you can, like, save a setup. And, you know, if you make, like, a really fancy, detailed Christmas setup for your home, you could save that to, like, a Notepad document type thing and load it again next year. You know, you don't have to, like, keep it up year-round unless you're just, that kind of person. Yeah, I'm imagining, like, the trailer park with the Christmas lights on it the whole year round. You do you. You know what? Live your truth. Christmas lights year-round with Halloween decorations. Do it. Do what you got to do. All right, so that is everything I know. That is everything I know for today. So we got the new patch, new balance. If you try out some of the stuff that I didn't know a lot about, like if you're like, hey, Muck, I tried Antiquate. Yo, put it in the comments section. Have a discussion down there. Let's figure out like what got buffed, what got nerfed, stuff like that. Christmas is available. There's some new skins available if you like it. And all of that is there. Oh, you know what? Another thing that I think would be worth mentioning right now. Hold on, because we're doing a news video anyway. Give me just a second to find it. Where is Guild Wars 2 Twitter? Give me a second. I saw this on Guild Wars 2 Twitter yesterday, and I didn't think it was worth doing a video all on its own. So here we go. Okay, so I don't know how long it's going, but on December 11th, which is in 2 days, that is on Thursday, they are doing drops again. And if you are interested, what they are giving away is the /serve emote tome. You do like a waiter thing. A mini Snow Flurry dragon. That's a miniature pet thing. And a cook's outfit. Now, these are all cosmetic type of things. None of these are going to affect gameplay in any way. So if you just care about function and not form, now you know what it is and you can decide whether you want these. However, if you're a collector or something, these are all things that usually are on the gem store and they're giving them away for free. So if you are watching a Guild Wars 2 stream from Thursday onward, they usually last for like 5 days. I do not know if how long these will last because it doesn't say in the post, which they should have put there. Then that we will. You'll have that option to get those for free. The other thing, hold on a sec, is Guild Wars 2 let's see, premiering Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Why 7 p.m.? That's 11 p.m. my time. That's like 4 a.m. in Europe or something. So very weird decision. Anyway, premiering Wednesday night, it'll be there Thursday morning when you wake up. The Making of Guild Wars 2, celebrating 25 years at ArenaNet. So they have got a video here where they are, this is kind of like a teaser for it. And they talk about like all the stuff that went into like the last 25 years. And the trailer looks really, really cool. And it's on their YouTube channel. And the main video, the long form video is coming out Wednesday night. All right. I think that's everything. So, as always, if you got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, put them in the comments section down below. I'll fight you there.